Hey, what's going on? You know who it is, you know what it is. Alright, you guys, peep game. Alright, man, I saw an excellent video by Fred from BarberShop Conversation. It was a great video, and he was basically breaking down the aspects of boxing, you know, the business standpoint, you know, being, you know, basically talking like a businessman and saying why fights like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford will not happen anytime soon. Which I believe that as well. I don't think Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence, that fight won't happen probably for at least 2.5 to 3 years. That's fact, unfortunately. So there's no need to even talk about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence in 2018 or 2019. This fight at best won't happen probably till 2020 and probably the tail end of 2020. It's just one of those fights it needs to build up because it's going to be a big fight. I expect both of these dudes to keep on winning, and then, you know, basically they'll build up the fight, and it'll be a big fight, and it will do over 1 million pay-per-views. It will, because if you want a fight of that magnitude to succeed, you need to build it up, you know. Unfortunately, Canelo and Triple G just didn't live up to the hype. It didn't live up to the hype because, one, it wasn't enough shit talking. Both of these dudes just seemed kind of passive towards each other and shit when they can't even talking about this fight. So when the actual fight happened, it didn't live up to expectations, and the fight didn't do as well as anticipated. Now, keep in mind, the actual pay-per-view numbers never truly came out for Triple D and Canelo. And I don't think the rematch will be as successful. Well, I'm not even going to say successful because the first fight wasn't successful. I don't think that the second fight will do whatever the first fight did. I think it will be lower. You know? A fight like Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford could be built up because both of these dudes, where they're humble, but they talk shit. They talk it in a way to where you still will pay attention and you'll be interested in hearing what they got to say. But as the fight gets closer, it'll get more intense. But yeah, as far as Terrence Crawford just sitting up behind the fence and stuff, I don't think that's going to happen. Because eventually, at the end of the day, Bob Arum is going to have to play ball with Al Heyman, whether he likes it or not. Because there's only so many fights you can put on ESPN with your marquee fighters versus subpar competition before the fans get turned off and say, okay, I don't want to see him fight this dude. Okay, I want to see him fight that dude. Because the problem is, in boxing, what's going on right now, we're using the sentence as, why can't this fight happen, instead of saying, I can't wait for this fight, or I'm glad this fight has been made. So we're asking why too much instead of when, as in, when is this fight going to happen? And that's the problem. Now, boxing to a certain degree has always been like this, but never to this magnitude. You know, there were always certain fights that just couldn't get made, no matter what the situation was. Whether it was in heavyweight, you know, even though Mike Tyson was in and out of jail, you know, a lot of people wanted to see Mike Tyson. Unfortunately, because of his situations, we wanted to see Mike Tyson versus Riddick Bowe, and, you know, Lennox Lewis would have been a more interesting fight if Mike Tyson hadn't, you know, been in and out of jail or had problems with the law. I'm not going to say in and out of jail, but he did have a couple of incidents with law enforcement. And the same thing with Sugar Ray Leonard and certain fights not happening. You know, same thing with Thomas Hearns, certain fights not happening. So this has been going on forever. But now it's to the point to where it's a little repulsive, and it gets sickening to you because you feel like the networks are the major problems and the promoters. Because a lot of these promoters, they just don't want to cross promote. That's the problem. They don't want to cross promote. They want to keep all the promotion money and the promotion in-house. You know, and that's what's keeping these super fights from being made. Now, back in the day, like in the 70s and you know, the early 80s, they didn't have, you know, pay-per-view wasn't like the big thing. Pay-per-view really took off like during the Oscar De La Hoya era. You know, they had it, but then it wasn't to the magnitude where it is now. And then you didn't have all these networks signing certain fighters to exclusive deals. You know, you may have PBC sign somebody to exclusive deal with, you know, Showtime, or you have HBO with exclusive deals, then you have, you know, whatever. And that's a big problem. And like I said, right now, sports is like, and particularly boxing, is like gang warfare. It's like territorial. Don't cross this line. You can't cross this line. You can't come into my territory. You know, if anything, you know, the networks are making this like a pimp and hoe thing. Like, hey, you know, this guy exclusively fights for HBO. This is my hoe, and if you want to see my hoe, you gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, put my hoe, you know, along with your hoe on my street. And that's for real. That's basically what's going on. You know? So it's sad. But anyway, yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think, man. I'm out.